Kaffa, he would like to play comfort when it comes to the dive heroes. I would actually say slow it down in this case, rely more on the Ramatra, and maybe Ultraviolet can, you know, play a fantastic Wu Yang as well.
Well, it's going into a classic. We're going to Ilios as our first map, and wow, Winston banned for T1. Their map pick and a Tracer for Geekay.
Yeah, really interesting bans coming out here. Geekay immediately respecting their opponent with a Tracer ban here. Cest obviously popped off really hard for T1 in the previous matchup against Twisted Minds. Not quite able to overcome that hurdle and finish off that series against Twisted Minds. That's why they find themselves here in the lower bracket. But I think Maimon is quite happy not to take the Tracer matchup in this series because he is so flexible. He can play the Echo if need be. I would even say that they could play Ramatra Mei if need be. Obviously not here on Ilios, but you will see Geekay rely on Maimon's flexibility a lot in this one.
Yeah, he's played so many heroes over the course of the season. And that was a terrifying loss for T1 the other day.
It was.
The reverse sweep and a full reverse sweep too on Junkertown. Like, that is New Junk City. That is not a spot you want to be in, like crumbling at the final hurdle. And I spoke to Swingchip, actually, GM of T1, before this series started and saying, like, look, is there any nerves there? Is the confidence still high within the team? And he says, yes, like, we've played for so long in the stage before, like, it's fine. It was just a small hiccup. But as we load in onto Ilios, this first to two in the lower round final, it's a deadly one too, because you don't get very many chances to make mistakes here, Johnny.
There's no room for error. There's no room for error. You lose 2 maps and you're out of the tournament. Typically, of course, we're playing a best of 5 series, so you have to get to 3. But given that bans are so powerful, map picks are so powerful, limiting your ability to rely on some of your go-to maps, and if you're a loser, you just get the one choice, right? That is going to impact, you know, the level of upsets we see throughout the tournament. And I actually think that, yes, I agree with the desk, T1, they should be the heavy favorites in this one. If you just compare their record against the top dogs like Falcons, Crazy Raccoon, they are 3-9 in their history against those teams. The rest of the world is like 2-54 or something. You know, they're just not able to take down those top dogs. But I think that speaks to T1's ability. The fact that they're at least able to compete with 2 of the best teams in the world. But in a first to 2 format, Geekay, they stand a real chance here to upset.
Winston has been such a big pick for Geekay. Gates are opening first to do. T1 and Geekay head-to-head. Donghak rolling out on a classic here. We've got the Wrecking Ball, Sombra.
Yeah, and it's going to be so powerful to grab all this space on the map immediately. You can see Donghak here, kind of posturing here. You want to get this point control early and then rely on Wrecking Ball's survivability and mobility as it gets into the backline. Ultraviolet, obviously a big target on the Wu Yang here.
There's a little manual hack on cover. Virus connects as well. Jagger Ball's going to be good there to waylay the push for any target that doesn't end up getting hacked. Donghak got 1000 HP in the backline already. Again, another manual hack connecting with a tank player, but it doesn't really matter in the end. A double tap onto lethal though. It's the first blood for T1 as Donghak just being a menace in the backline, just unable to gain that space that Geekay they're trying to push up, but there's just too many obstacles in their way.
Yeah, it's devastating to get that first pick, and Lethal is going to swap over to the Freya. Some extra mobility to navigate these dives coming in. Freya is going to be a go-to hit scan choice in a matchup like this, but Maimon is trying to at least put some pressure onto Donghak here. You need to find a way to get this Wrecking Ball out of your backline.
It's so tough, and then Zesh just kind of hanging around the side. Tough to go coast as well. You will get booped off, and the Mega Health Pack is going to be permanently hacked. They're going to try for it at least. Maimon teleporting away at 37 HP. Goes for the Mega Health Pack, hacking it up. Getting his health topped up again, but again, they need to be able to take space, but Geekay, they're not finding any of it.
Yeah, they don't obviously have any speed because they're playing this big Wu Yang composition, and they're going to get pretty close to ultimate. So Maimon finds a crucial space pick onto Donghak, and that is going to grant them so much space. You can see them walk up here. They're going to put pressure onto this point. And now, T1, how do they contest without their Wrecking Ball? Donghak is on his way back, but it's a crucial cap for Geekay.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't. Wrecking Ball is so easy to get back to the point quick, so if you lose any more, it's more of a stagger, so you get at least half a fight out of T1.
Ultimate's coming up here. Going to be a big fight here. You can see Geekay. They are trying to rotate away from this Wrecking Ball. Always be on the move. Bola shot comes out.
EMP hits Avril. That's a virus too. Good connection from Zest. He's going to keep it going as well. Spots Ultraviolet. Teleports behind it. Virus connects as well as Donghak finishes up. And with Lethal only finding Vigilante, I mean, they're going to have to find something else. Like, in the meantime, that's 3 kills for the Sombra. Zest ends up going down to cover, but Donghak's here with the follow-up. Flip ends up coming in. 36% for Geekay. For losing Avril that early on to an EMP is not a good look.
It's not a good look indeed, and T1 now still very happy with their ultimate economy. They got double support ultimate here, and Mines are so good at keeping this point contested. So GK will try to walk up here. Eyes on Maimone here, actually. Has an EMP in hand. Can you shut down Skew there potentially? Comes out.
He connects with 2, in fact, and yeah, Proud
Huge
instantly
pick.
deleted. Headshot with the virus, you take that. Another kill onto Skew, the other hack target. All right, quick reset. T1 still, though, gaining percent. Donghack's in a little bit of a sticky situation, or a spiky situation with that jagged wall.
We're getting into a bit of a tricky spot here for GK as well, knowing that T1 has double support ultimate, and you only have a rally in hand. You need to go for a bit of a crazy play here. Can you find a manual hack onto one of the supports? See some follow-up from Lethal onto that Freya. We talk a lot about Lethal's playmaking ability on that hit scan. Well, this would be the time.
Yeah, I worry now, though, this Sombra ult charge coming through from Zesh, Johnny. Because of how early they used it, they're going to get one for the final fight.
Oh.
Donghack track, though. Jagger Ball looks like Skew was there to the rescue, shooting it as well with the blaster. Ends up spotting out Maimone in a bit of a predicament, but uses that translocator to get away. Here comes the rush now from Vigilante onto the point. How did GK even respond to this? A nice little headshot onto the backline, forces Maimone to use that teleport again to go invisible. Sound barrier comes in response to this rally, but Ultraviolet's already dead. That overhealth didn't have a chance to build up. Ends up spotting Proud there, but quickly zipping away. Jumps up to the high ground, and Skew finds 2 on the Lucio.
And this is going to be a tricky spot now for
in
GK.
fact.
Skew is just popping off on the Lucio here, and it's going to be a late
fourth?
dagger
Okay,
on
Skew,
Maimone
4
perhaps.
kills for the Lucio.
Okay, that's not every day. Pop off, King.
They're going to be able to get back in time, of course. They got one more fight, but they're running into the CMP.
They're running into the CMP and T1. They want to fight aggressively here. Make it difficult for GK to contest this point.
See if Kafka can find an isolated kill, but Zest wants to go early. Pings out, Lethal, looking for Kuffer. Translocate to the high ground. Donghack's in a good spot to follow up from this as well. EMP, it does connect, and it connects with 2. Kuffer behind the jagged wall, but it's Lethal to fall first. A nice little tidal blast there from Ultraviolet, but it can't save you from Proud. T1, they're going to wipe GK off of Ruins and claim the first round.
And that is what T1 does best. Playing the Wrecking Ball is a hero that GK will need to find a way to navigate throughout this series. But if I'm GK, I can't put too much emphasis into this singular round. Coming up next, Lighthouse. Well, these are the most important rounds for GK to really look towards if you're going to play this hazard composition. Find some nice rotations, because Ruins really is the best point here for a hero like Wrecking Ball. And so I do think that T1 might have to change up their composition here slightly.
Feels like an anomaly on the scoreboard with Donghack with the most deaths on the team with 3. But Proud, Skewed, Vigilante only dying once each. Zest doing a lot of work too on the Sombra. Very high damage for the Sombra.
Yeah, I mean, GK, they were put under so much pressure without that speed, right? So
yeah.
Admiral is going to make this swap over to the Lucio here, actually. And it's going to be a Echo Freya composition from GK. We've been seeing this a lot in the meta because of the mobility both of these heroes have. GK here, contesting this coast side, trying to wrap around this enemy team. But Donghack, he doesn't want to give up these side lanes. They're already on top of GK.
Yeah, Maimone's super low already. Donghack had an aerial view over the Echo. Gets the slam on a couple of people as well. There's the shield. Pretty chilling now is Donghack. And Kuffer overextending a little bit. As Donghack was going for that triple slam, Johnny, Kuffer was trying to make his own space. But unfortunately, the virus hit.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot here because GK, as you can see, they're kind of stacked up together because Donghack did such a great job at just pressuring them away from the flanks as Vigilante just gets another 3K. Okay, the supports on T1, they're decidedly having a great game here.
They're looking good.
But if I'm GK here, I need to find a way to utilize my speed to get on top of one of these individuals. Looking at T1's composition, of course, who do you really contest here? There's so much mobility on the side of T1 that you really have to capitalize on a mistake, maybe a bad translocator, Proud. Not able to navigate his way around here.
Yeah, Kuffer tried to use that Dragon Wall there to stop the escape with the Translocator, but didn't connect. That did though. And Lethal's already dead. Already Donghack's in the back line, yeah, hitting the slam. It's so tough to move against this comp, but even with the speed, Johnny, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. It ain't working.
It's not working for the minute. I mean, Lucio, in these tight corridors, it is a fairly diveable hero.
Oh, whoops. Zest?
Whoopsie.
Okay, my bad.
Can we get a replay on that one? What are you cooking, Chief?
He's chilling. He's chilling.
All right. We'll be back in a moment.
What? With a commotion. I'm joking. I'm joking. EMP coming up for Zesto pretty quickly. Duplications have been Pretty crazy as of late. We saw a Lucio one earlier.
My God.
Admiral takes a double shot. Yeah, goodbye. Oh, that was nasty. Look, a little duplication from Maimone, but didn't exactly want to use it there. Napolis connecting with him mid-air. Can he get good use of these mines? Ends up using them in cage, but Lethal already falls down. A rush onto the point's good for Geekay, but again, Johnny, no real estate, no space at all to use it.
They're under so much pressure, and you can see here, 90% time is ticking for GK.
Maimone goes down to his own mines there, and well, 95% for T1, and they are routing Kuffa. And that is an alt-jax as well, as T1 just decimate GK. That was not close.
Wow, that was lopsided. That is what we're expecting from T1, the third seed coming out of Korea. And we noticed going into the matchup that GK, they are going to struggle against a Titan like Donghak, proven it so many times before on the global stage that he's the tank to be reckoned with, and GK had no answer for the wrecking ball.
The head-to-head looks good. Maybe Kuffa given too much respect there to Donghak. Just peep the stats, Vigilante and Proud. Only dying once each. Oh, this is looking good. Avast is going to look pretty happy, I can tell you that.
Oh, Avast is just having a blast backstage.
Off.
Yeah.
Popping off. In his little cubby.
Peep that co-stream.
Yeah. 19-4 as well from Zest on the Sombra. His EMPs as well were magical. Connecting with the right target every time.
Yeah, and I think Zest is showing that he's having a bit of a breakout tournament here. We obviously know that Zest has been incredibly talented, performed for many years in Overwatch Esports, but it's primarily been the Tracer. Zest in his career hasn't really been able to overcome some of these really tough opponents, right? To gain that hugely important accolade, something he can look back on, a big achievement in his career. But in this tournament, like, his venture was absolutely fantastic against Twisted Minds. Now, we're seeing it on the Sombra. We know what he's capable of on the Tracer, of course.
Legend standing behind them as well.
Yeah.
Fleta. See where we go to next.
Overwatch MVP, yeah, 2020.
Yeah,
he's got the Echo skin.
He's got the Echo skin, yeah. Base dance, Johnny. Now look, I did a kind of swing. Give me something spicy from T1. She's like, no.
Spicy.
Yeah, I was like, please, you know, they've got to say something a little bit spicy. You're in the lower bracket. You've got to have some fighting talk in you, right? And she's like, no. We just got to follow in the steps of Faker, be humble, and just respect our opponents. But that round was anything but, in all honesty.
Follow in the steps of Faker.
Be humble.
I love that. A little T1 vibes. Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I mean, look, this is a team that I think are yet, not only speaking about Zest, but T1 as a whole, really. We always talk about the potential they're showing, their capabilities when it comes to playing so many different compositions. But this is the time on the global stage where you gotta start popping off, where you gotta start taking down some big opponents. GK, for T1, I feel like it's just another kind of like roadblock here in their path in the lower bracket. They have their eyes set on like the bigger teams here, Team Falcons, Crazy Raccoon, Twisted Minds now. They want to get revenge on them. I think anything but top 3 here for T1 would be a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, and if they can push all the way to the finals as well, I mean, look at the finalists throughout the year. Crazy Raccoon, Team Falcons. If T1 then take the very end, it's like Korean dominance throughout the year. That was a big breakout from EMEA as well, to be fair. At the mid-season, like, EMEA showed up, and they're continuing to do so. And when you looked at the patch notes, Johnny, what was your kind of immediate thought? Because mine was like, oh, well, NA, they rely a lot on this, like, ball. Winston, dive, like, we want to play super quick. But, like, the map pool ended up changing here. The patch kind of shifted towards a little bit Ram. Well, mostly Ram. Zarya, D.Va, like, off-tanky, and it's like, oh, NA, like, especially a team like GK, looked a bit weak coming in.
Yeah, GK have struggled as of recent. They weren't really able to pick up the pace in stage 3 as much. And this is actually really interesting as it relates to that. We see a Ramatra ban come out from T1 after GK picking Kiriko first here as their ban select. Because Kuffa, he's not really been able to play the dive heroes like we talked about, the Winston, the Wrecking Ball. And so he's been forced to pick up a lot of that Ramatra, and now T1 removing his optionality to play that hero. We gotta ask ourselves the question, like, what is Kuffa going to play in this matchup? Are we again going to see the Hazard come out? Well, it's a different map from Ilios, it's New Junk City. Donghak will be forced to play something else, but the Hazard, it can be navigated T1, they should be able to find a game plan here to deal with whatever tank Kuffa is going to roll out on.
Bit of mental warfare as well from GK maybe. Look, you got reverse swept on this map and it ended up costing you the series yesterday. We take you here, and maybe shades of yesterday are still in the forefront of your mind.
But even more mind games. This is a map that T1 picked against Team CC as well. So you're saying, oh, you picked New Junk City? Well, we think we know a game plan, how to counter whatever you brought out then. We're going to pick New Junk City ourselves. Now, noteworthy on that, of course, was that Viper was actually subbed in for T1 in that series against Team CC. That time playing the Genji, and you saw Viper was top 5 when it comes to the eliminations leaderboard previously before this series. And so T1 not subbing in Viper this time, maybe they have something different in store with Zest.
Still love the Venture right now.
The Venture is so good.
Especially on this map as well. A lot of corners to play around and your escape routes. I mean, to be fair, on a lot of Flashpoint maps, there's a ton of small escape routes that you can play with the Venture. It's not like a one-track linear, like a payload map or anything. It's like, well, I can go this way, I can go that way. There's a lot of easy flanks, so Venture works out really well. It's been good to see them actually in the meta a little bit more.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to contesting the point. That is what Venture does so well, right? Is that you can reliably have a Venture burrow onto the point, keep it contested, not allowing the flip. But then also the mobility that Venture has, you can get into the enemy backline, so you can kind of juggle the point by yourself, and that frees up your tank player. You don't have to sacrifice your tank positioning just to keep the point contested. You can let your flex damage player do that quite reliably. And so Venture has really earned themselves a slot in this meta, not only for countering this Symmetra, but also for some extra objective pressure.
Just thinking too, like, well, the Kiriko is banned here as well. Like, Zest play Venture. Like, if you look at the rest of the hero roster, a little bit more vulnerable. Kiriko definitely the best at kind of getting away from that pick. So we'll see if Zest ends up rocking this. Dongak, little Mauga gameplay.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, last time it was Jasmine playing this map, and so T1 are changing things up here quite drastically on New Junk City. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw the Mauga.
It's not, like, especially on Flashpoint, it's definitely not the worst pick.
No.
Very front to back.
And I mean, T1, they're so comfortable playing so many different styles. They really are a jack of all trades, so they like to play the Symmetra themselves. Now they're just going to TP out, so it'll be a Sojourn Venture composition from T1 here. But the Mauga is going to be really aggressive. GK, they need to scout this out and beware, because this overrun will come in quick.
Yeah, again, it's going to be tough for them to claim space.
Here it goes.
Ultraviolet's 1 HP already. Ends up backing up, a little flank here from Maimon, but UV already dead. Zest finds another in lethal. Donghack, cardiac overdrive, hits the overrun, gets out of there. And now GK, they're on like a little island here. Kuffa looking for the next entrance for T1, spots it through main. But where's the staying power? Maimon with the 1v1 against Zest, and Zest wins it.
Yeah, with Maimon going down, GK, they have to retreat. They have to wait for their Venture player to get back here. This allows T1 to get the point cap. And now they have the optionality of how aggressive do we want to play here. Maimon swaps over to the Echoes. You have to be aware of the aerial presence from that hero. But you can see T1, they're poking, they're prodding. They're looking for any kind of opportunity here to go aggressive and capitalize on a positional mistake.
Tough for the Echo to excel though in these low ceilings. Ultraviolet is in T1 sights right now. Manages to get away with that rushing torrent. And there's the flip, kind of free actually. GK just end up flipping the map on them completely. Proud 1 HP, has to back off. Nice shot from Ultraviolet. Overextends though, goes down to Zest.
It's traded back and forth. It's a 3v3 actually. Donghack and 2 supports for T1. GK has the point cap.
Nice Jagger ball. Cover gets slammed, and in fact, might end up going down here as well. Has to get out. Yeah, Violet leaps away or tries to. Kuffa dead, and this is an easy point flip for T1. No one standing up against the Mauga here.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake from Kuffa there. Playing overly aggressive. You gotta realize you're 2 men down, but pushes up. Donghack gets a bit of a free point cap there in T1. Now with ultimates on the board, they can decide how to play this one. I'd actually like to see them navigate a little bit. Oh, it's another big pick from Proud here. Individual plays from T1.
Yeah, and they got window as well. They can play far up if they want it. Downpour. Vigilante doesn't get out of the way though. Maimon's on the flank. Standby from Studios, end up hitting up 4s. Kuffa goes for the leap onto the Sojourn, but doesn't connect. And now Venture and Zest just trying to find this kill, but yeah, well, unfortunately, Zest, the spawn door is right next to Lethal, so should be safe. Cap does end up coming through, but Donghack staking his claim again.
It at least buys GK enough time here to get back and have a proper fight. Both support ultimates used for either team here, but Lethal, with this overclock, Astos Proud, can you navigate the flanks here? Find yourself an opportunity to get some crucial picks.
The cage though, Johnny, like how do you actually deal with this right now if you're GK? An overclock 2 from Lethal to try and melt through it, but Cuffer's already down. And unfortunately, Lethal and the rest of GK go the same way. And that'll be the first point to T1.
Okay, if we still want to be optimistic, it is the first to 2. And so GK, they're in a world of trouble right now, facing defeat on this map. But
that was
they
optimism.
should be better. Well, I'm contextualizing, Jack.
Okay.
I'm contextualizing.
Okay.
They should be better off on the remaining points on this map because they want to play this, you know, longer range Wu Yang kind of composition. And that initial point is so difficult for them to execute on. This should be the time where they start to gain some momentum.
Nice flank here. Double shot. No, it doesn't quite get Lethal. Still hunting for heads. Lethal with a very dangerous peek. Proud doesn't want to stay any longer. That jagged wall could block his escape as the Duke from Maimone ends up copying the Mauga, but no free cage. Good focus fire, but they still lose Proud. 4v5. T1 still in this. Maybe not anymore though. Zest down, and there's the first cap on point B.
And T1 is in a really awkward composition here, playing the Juno and the Lucio. Not something you see too often. Obviously a lot of speed involved there. But GK, I think they should be able to capitalize on this. You kind of have to peel away, you gotta back off, you gotta be wary of this Mauga walking up. But as soon as you survive that initial overrun, you should be able to capitalize with all that damage output from your Sojourn and Echo.
Not a healing from Vigilante. This orbital ray is a nasty. GK have to watch out. They're a little bit further behind than they'd like to be right now. There's the one leap into the backline, and wow, Proud just got deleted. Actually one tap. And it's going to keep Cuffer in the fight as well. Tidal Blast, that's the knockdown onto Skewed, and this is a reset for T1.
Yeah, this is huge. Cuffer with a couple of great plays there, and Ultraviolet's Tidal Blast to back him up. This is going to be that GK's at 80% here. And Ultraviolet, that's a great pick.
What?
Cess is the one who needs to touch this point. And now T1, they just gotta surrender. There is no way for them to win the second point.
Yeah, they're backing off and they know it. Wow, Cess just get randomly picked. Ultraviolet water bending those orbs around the corner.
So
all right,
good.
there's the point. However, Johnny, that's actually a really insane point here for T1. A very fast rotation since they backed off so early.
Absolutely, and they have double support ultimate here. Let's see how they play it. Should be tons of aggression.
Well, there's the orbital ray coming through from Admiral, and the downpour is going to be there to match. Zest 900 HP on the bench, and no! Lethal! He just dashes off the map, pops the OC, thought he could be the difference maker. But unfortunately, he is 10 foot under now. Vigilante with a double, and that is T1 taking that fight handily.
Yeah, reaping the rewards of their ultimate economy is T1, and Proud finds the last pick onto Maimone. But not to worry too much. The ultimates are going to be the scariest opportunity for T1 to win these fights. If I'm GK, I can now look for other ways to gain these flanks, utilize the damage from my Sojourn. Maimone has a copy here. It's going to be really good onto a hero like Mauga.
He's going to try and look for a flank, taking a little bit of damage on entry. He ends up using that glide pretty early on, and Ultraviolet goes down. Duplication comes in. Maimone looking for a better ult here. Maybe even a cage too, but it looks like they're going to try and just navigate this. He's going to get cage eventually, and traps Donghag in here, but Maimone is so low that ult doesn't give you the full health bar, not anymore. But still, they kill Skewed. A decent flip for GK with Donghag dying last.
Yeah, GK regains control here. And now they can play all these wide angles here with their damage players, and they can always look for these picks, right? Echo is going to be a really good hero at getting on top of the backline of T1, playing that Juno Lucio composition, and capitalize on getting picks before T1 successfully rotate to the point in the first place.
Cage coming through from T1 as well. Looks like they just want to lock Cuffer in place once more. And there's no support there, Johnny. Look at the silhouettes, the outlines of the rest of GK. Ultraviolet's going to try and take the fight versus Proud, and now looking straight at Maimone is the Sojourn player. Ultraviolet 1 HP, literally couldn't be any lower. And Zest is going to chase down Admiral. Another flip, but GK still with 68%. But Ultraviolet, what? Tidal Blast comes in. Maimone finds 2, but is actually enough, Johnny, because Zest cleans him up in the end.
That's how GK gotta play the composition. You gotta look for individual plays, but that time, maybe a little bit too much, too late. And T1 at 80% and counting. Kaffa should be able to get back here for a last-second contest.
Oh, Donghag's back on the ball, man. Someone make him stop. Ends up slamming it big in the back line. Gets a lot of shields there. Has to roll away, though. A double tap onto Vigilante. That's 2 for Lethal. A good downpour is going to lock Skewed in place. Proud finds his 1. But Geekay find the fight.
That's massive from Lethal. That's exactly what you need from your hitscan player. Being able to win a fight with a couple of picks like that. And I'm not sure I love the Wrecking Ball Juno Lucio composition. It's such an awkward composition for T1 to be on. Now, they have double support ultimate, and if they're able to build these, they should be able to win this next fight.
Ultraviolet's just in a 1v1. He needs help.
He's in trouble, yeah.
Okay, they're going to be able to get the touch.
Oh, they got it!
Wait. Miscom there, maybe. I mean, I thought Donghag was maybe going to roll towards the point.
What about Sis? You have a Venture player.
Yeah, you have a Venture, you have a ball. Like, Skewed ended up falling, but that's a mistake from T1.
That just can't happen in a situation like this. You have the ultimates required. You gotta pick onto the Wu Yang player, T1, with another mistake there. And now Donghag finds himself on this Wrecking Ball as we head into an indoors point. How are we going to get on top of the backline here for GK? This is sort of a tough spot for T1 to be in.
They're gonna go early by the looks of it, Johnny. They
have Orbital Ray.
Orbital Ray, and that's a lot of pulsar torpedo damage. Lethal already dead. A quick duplication, but it's almost instantly killed. These dupes from MyMoan not looking so pretty this series so far. GK are going to lose all their players, and that's going to be the first cap to T1, and the wealth, the economy for T1 at this point as well, Johnny. It is looking good.
Yeah, really good stuff, just winning the fight based on the Orbital Ray alone. But it's so fascinating them playing this Juno Lucio because they got to be so quick to get these kills early. And now you have a sound barrier. So with some tactical aggression here, pushing outside the point. It's all about getting on top of your opponent. One missed slide from Lethal and it could be all over for GK.
He redeemed himself from earlier on, of course, after sliding off the map with the OC. There's the Orbital Ray used pretty early, but Team 1 are going to respond with the sound barrier. An instant kill onto Admiral is going to be good for 1. He jumps up to the high ground. There's going to be a tidal blast. That Proud now's trying to get away. Oh, and a snipe onto Lethal. He thought he had him dead to rights, but Brad stands taller. Kaffa down, and well, that's a flip for GK, sure, but T1, they're the ones in control.
Yeah, and GK haven't been able to find quite the same momentum on this indoors point. MyMoan swapping over to the Tracer, and now GK, they're going to make some hero adaptations as well. Admiral over to the brig here, some added protection for Ultraviolet. Try to get some rotations from inside this point. They want to fend away from this Wrecking Ball. Lethal pops the overclock. Nice headshot, actually.
Manages to get the double slide up onto the high ground, but still searching for more. Half HP, has to get healed up, but that's the headshot's the only thing he's going to get. Mines there, separate the team, but it looks like the backline from GK made it out alive. A downpour from Kaffa doesn't result in any kills just yet, but at least manages to get the flip. Lethal comes up big with 1. There's still 99 for T1. They can't afford any mistakes now.
GK gonna try to run this point back and tie up the series. Yo. And this is what you gotta do. You gotta be aggressive. You gotta poke in spawn. See if you can get some early picks with your Sojourn player. Make the rotations difficult for T1, who are coming up on an Orbital Ray here. That is going to be a ridiculously powerful ultimate as we draw closer to this point. MyMoan. What can you cook up with this full spawn with no Susu on the field?
Hunting for the backline now, spots 3. Expecting Zest to come back down, yeah. Ends up getting chased out, knows the numbers are against him. Orbital Ray, like you said, available now, Johnny. For T1, straight across the high ground, but Proud's already dead. Kaffa found an off angle, is hiding in the bushes or something. So well, T1, they've got Donghag in the front lines, but there's no kills to this Orbital Ray. And there comes the tidal blast as well. Kaffa looking for a target to knock down, but doesn't end up finding anybody. A little bit too elusive at T1 right now, but the rally from Rambo is going to be good for another.
This is the map.
And GK are going to take them here. New Junk City is theirs. We're going to a map 3.
What an impressive performance on New Junk City from GK. Showing some momentum on their own map choice. Kaffa gets going on the Hazard, and you can see the individual playmaking. Lethal, MyMoan, Ultraviolet contributing on the Wu Yang. This is what GK is all about. Poking and prodding around the flanks, doing some playmaking, but T1, I gotta question that Lucio Juno composition. Is that really what you wanna commit to when you find yourself in a loser bracket match in first to two? I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw that.
A long time. My mind just races back to that second point though, Johnny. Donghack, and they're getting a kill. Oh, we got a pick. Like, okay, pretty easy. Ultraviolet's dead, right? There's no Wu Yang. We roll to the point, and then the comms break down for T1. Like, is this map like their kryptonite? New Junk City not looking good for T1 so far. Map number 3 coming up next.
I hate to say it, Jack, but it comes down to being clinical on LAN in these major tournaments, not making those kind of mistakes. And I think from T1, just looking back at that map, there were a couple of opportunities for them to win some crucial team fights. Obviously, Lethal sliding off the map is not optimal either, as we just saw. But I think that is a great example, Jack, of T1 just not being able to go across the finish line in a tournament like this. We gotta see them be more clinical in a matchup like this.
Yeah, be cleaner. And this is something that GK, or under their previous banner Nightmare, have done before. Taken down one of the best Korea has to offer. That's last time around. That was Crazy Raccoon in Hangzhou. And I think we harped on it in mid-season too, but they eliminate T1 here. They could be on a warpath in the lower bracket. But now they have to contest with T1 on their map pick.
Yeah, this is going to be a scary task for GK, no matter where we go. But I think this is going to be such an extremely interesting pick from T1 here, because obviously you would maybe want to see them commit a bit more to Donghack, his capabilities on the Wrecking Ball, on those dive heroes. But historically now in this tournament, they've kind of favored Jasmine being their go-to tank player, playing more of their Ramatra composition, playing more Zarya. Jasmine, a fantastic Zarya player, that is. And so now when you're facing defeat, going to a third map in this first to two series, where do you go? What is your comfort? What map are you willing to play and say, we're leaving it all on the field here?
I feel like maybe it was a blessing going to this New Junk City here.
But why the change though? Like, why did T1 change up from what they were doing against Team CC? You know, when we're seeing Viper just dominate on that Genji, you know, maybe they think that we want to make some adaptations to GK style. They lean so heavily on this Wu Jang playstyle, right? Team CC, they like to play their own off-tank, you know, similar to Cuff Up or playing the Hazard here. But still, this T1 team, it's a team that always makes these changes, as we see Jasmine coming into the lineup. And they're saying, if we're going to go down in this tournament, we're going to play the Zarya.
Yeah, the off-tank now versus the main tank. And yeah, I agree. I thought maybe we'd just see Donghack throughout the entire series. Is this a little bit of panic from T1? Like, okay, now we sub in Jasmine. We'll see what the map pick is.
They will always obviously have a very well-researched plan from their scrims. They practiced it. They know all the win rates. They know what is their best composition from all that practice. But Donghack, the great tank player he is, and the amount of respect we put him in, the amount of respect Donghack gets from his fellow competitors at this tournament, at the Kaffa himself, right? Then you kind of want to rely on him as like a steady contributor to the success of T1. And there's so many maps you could have gone to. You could have gone to lots of different maps where you enabled that Wrecking Ball for him. But it's going to be Jasmine here being subbed in. And there's lots of payload maps in the pool here, of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised to see something like a King's Row. Obviously great if you want to hone in on that Zarya style.
Yeah, and then what does Kuffa play in that regard?
Well, it has to be the Ramatra, right?
Right.
But that's the point I was making going into the series. If I'm GK, I'm like, I want to play the Ramatra. Like, I don't want to play Donghack, and I know they just took down Donghack on a New Junk City. That was pretty awkward for T1. But if I'm GK, I'd rather play Jasmine than whatever Donghack will bring on his go-to maps.
I'll have to wait and see. Jasmine obviously setting up on the stage now. A sub for T1. This final map in this lower round. And the loser here will go home. And GK as well. You think about throughout the year, they've looked at their most dominant. Like every single stage, just unstoppable. Stage 3 kind of bit him a little bit. Team Liquid really punching up and proving, hey, like, we're one of the best. Like, SSG looking really clean as well. GK falling behind ever so slightly. But in a meta where you can play the Winston, you can play Kuffa on just these super fast tanks, and then you have Ultraviolet just going absolutely wild on the Wu Yang. We're not in that same meta here. And Johnny, You were right. Johnny the Wise comes in strong. King's Row is the pick.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at map pools, we generally look at the most extreme maps when it comes to different playstyles, right? And T1 are actually going to ban the Hazard here. Makes sense for them, of course, because they're also protecting that Zarya of Jasmine. GK decides to get rid of the Venture here. Massive amount of respect going out to Cest, the performance we saw yesterday against Twisted Mind. And this is also going to open up the door for, you know, someone like Maimon to mantle the Echo. He has so much impact on that hero.
Yeah, it's been incredibly good throughout the different stages. Maimon, the flexibility there is so strong.
Yeah.
Incredibly smart player too.
He's so smart. He's able to play so many different heroes. And when we think about GK's performances this past year, what has been so successful with them is their teamwork, like the way they communicate and operate together. And Maimon is kind of like the backbone of that. Obviously, a lot of communication comes from your tank player, comes from Kaffa. Hey, I'm seeing this. Can we pounce on this? But Maimon has to be there on the follow-up. That's why we've been seeing Sombra from them in the past. Kaffa saying, hey, can we hack this target? Can we engage? Can we dive here? And then Maimon follows up, of course, with that hero. And I think that is why they're so good in these tournament formats. That communication doesn't fail them. It is always going to be a great factor for them against an opponent like T1 here.
Let's bring up the bracket real quick just to see how both GK and T1 made it here. Of course, this lower bracket, being first to two as well, you speak to any player, it's just so dicey. It feels, the amount of pressure that they're under is ridiculous. Here's the lowers. Obviously, we have TL and Peps up next. And then this is a series that I thought would go a little bit differently as well. That being Weibo Gaming versus Team CC. I thought that might be a three-map banger. Even Avro was saying, like, hey, I think Team CC got that one.
I thought Team CC were on upset alert in this tournament.
Facts.
Because just scouting them going into the tournament, you're like, okay, are teams going to respect what they bring to this tournament? Billy Dang, go-to off-tank player for that team. Just
Rising star in China.
Rising star in China. And you're looking at Weibo Gaming, the #1 seed from China, and you're like, okay, like, are they past their prime? You know, is this dive composition going to always?
Don't say that, bro. No.
Am I being too harsh? I don't know. Maybe. Like, there's so many. Bro
called Leave Shy and Gouche past their prime.
But what I'm saying is, like, Team CC, they're in the next generation. It's just like,
yeah.
Although, you know, Kaneki has been around the scene forever now. You know, got plenty of veteran on that roster. Yeah. But Weibo Gaming has been the #1 team in China for so long that I really think we ought to put some respect on Team CC and what they could bring into this tournament. But they go down 2-0 against Weibo Gaming, obviously falling to Weibo's dive composition in that one. We got lots of bangers in this first lowest round, all first to two matches. So cutthroat for all of these teams.
Yeah, cutthroat is definitely the word you'd use there. It's a little bit sad to see Varel obviously getting knocked out. Little 2-0. No map for the Japanese team in that one, sadly.
I still love them though.
Oh yeah, Varel.
Like their go-to playstyle is so entertaining.
Come on.
They're just like, yeah, we're going to play double flex support. Yeah, we're going to win a map of Falcons.
The map of Falcons is crazy. Oh! It's your boy, Cargo. We told you he would be here, and there he is, live. I was going to say in the flesh, but in the, I don't know, joints, mechanics, metal.
Give that robot a Reinhardt hammer.
Yeah.
Immediately.
That's what I'm saying.
Slam it down.
Yeah, he'll be around the venue, so make sure, if you're in chat right now, !DHL drop. We can
have a little hug. There we go.
A little hug. Bro's gonna get crushed.
We should get Cargo on the cast.
Dude, yeah, you reckon he drops some cool lines?
Yeah, let's go.
You might, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't need a box.
Yeah, we're the same size.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Me and Cargo, we're real close. We're buddies.
Yeah, you dabbed him up in the corridor?
Yeah, we dabbed him up, yeah.
Nice. Looks like Jasmine is ready and raring to go. Let's have a look at the damage dealers for Flashpoint specifically.
Wow. Okay.
Jasmine, #1. Damage per minute, 1,030.
That's a lot of damage.
That's over some DPS. That's pretty good.
Over some DPS?
That's pretty good.
One would say the tank is really strong in the 5v5 format.
It's pretty sick, guys. When you're
Someone's going to post this on social media and be like, tank is OP.
Yeah.
Let them go.
And then how many other DPS? 1, 2, 3 DPS behind him. Billy Dang, okay. Kaffa, Sugar Free.
Dongak is 10th. They have 2 tank players in the top 10.
Legend.
Wow.
T1. There you go. #1 and #10, both with 1s in them.
That is crazy.
That is.
Should be our new stats guy.
The new stats guy, please, no, bro.
Playing with numbers a little bit.
Bro, I can barely do addition. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, Jasmine still getting ready to go. Kings Row, Venture ban as well. Like you said, a lot of respect paid towards Zest there.
Yeah, I mean, Venture has been so good this tournament because it's such a tool of distraction. Like, you can get into the backline with your ability cycle. You're able to secure a pick essentially by yourself, but also you have the escapability required if it really doesn't work your way. The ultimate as well is so powerful now. I feel like Tectonic Shock. Like, you see someone pop that with the minor perk as well for the reduced cooldowns.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're the scariest here on the field.
It feels like infinite mobility when you hit that, because your cooldowns come back so quick, so you're like, draw dash, left click, you like, draw dash, left click, you just like, perma-spamming. And then you're so tricky to actually lock down as well. It's like, okay, I used my one movement ability, where do I go now? And the Venture's already on top of you.
Yeah, I mean, what is the counterplay? Just like lose your wall riding?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Funny Astro did it the other day.
Yeah, Funny Astro jumps up in the skies, or like Wu Yang hits the Russian torrent, jumps up, right?
But it's not a great hero as well, because you can reliably force the teleport and Susu from Akiriko, right? And so you can really like herd the opponents with that Venture successfully as we finally get closer to the start of map 3 here.
I want to jinx anything. Kings are obviously drawable, but in reality, our last map here, T1 and GK, a first to 2, both on a match point. Loser goes home. NA's number 3 and Korea's number 3. You'd expect, again, it to be this close. And with GK's dominance throughout the year, with a slight stumble towards the end in Stage 3, netted them their 3rd place in North America. T1 always kind of 3rd place though, Johnny. Kind of, I don't want to say it, but kind of used to it, behind Crazy Raccoon and Team Falcons. And maybe this is their tournament to punch up, not even to their own region, but to the rest of the West.
They're knocking on that door. They want to be let in. GK. So much pressure on their shoulders. How are they going to adapt to Jasmine here? As Jasmine rolls out on the Sigma. This is interesting. Sigma in recent history, a bit of a niche pick. Obviously still really good with this shield. A lot of poke damage coming through, but I feel like on a map like this, can be quite easily navigated. Now, Cess is also on the Symmetra, so that's going to be some added mobility to play with here. They are probably going to be quite reliably securing the high ground using that teleporter, rotate around whatever GK has to offer. But that being said, besides that teleporter, it's going to be a hero that you should be able to get on top of.
Lethal on El Clasico on the Ashe. Very happy, I'd imagine, to see Ashe back in the meta. Just a very scary hit scan. Can really take over the game on his own a lot of the time, Johnny. He's given that space, and that is exactly what T1 denied him on in that map 1.
Yeah, playing the Ashe here, you're going to have a lot of damage output, but crucially, you need to secure the sightlines for your Ashe player. And that is what T1 are looking to shut down, with Jasmine holding this high ground here, trying to protect this from GK, not allowing them to set up and contest this point, and granting space for their damage dealers. Kappa struggling a little bit here, but Ramatra, with that Nemesis core popped in a moment, should be able to at least disjoint someone.
Yeah, he ended up using it to get up the stairs, Johnny, so he didn't have it to actually stand tall against Jasmine on high ground. Trying to get a tick, but again, hard enough to stand up against the Sim. Lethal does end up going down, tries to go for a cheeky little flank there, but they do end up trading DPS. Kappa knocked to the ground, Nemesis form though. He's just gonna run at Jasmine. That kinetic grasp, no use against the flying fist of fury from Kappa. Is still going pretty low though. Mimo looking for the insta-kill into the backline, but doesn't manage to get it. There's no way Proud survives that. Like 10 HP or something stupid. T1, they let go of a tick, but they're gonna stand on this point at least for now.
Yeah, obviously the Symmetra teleporter really useful as well, getting back to the point faster. But GK, they should have been able to close that one down. Great protection from Jasmine, denying the pick as well. And now we get into the first ultimate cycle here for either team. How do you want to play this one? T1 with some really oppressive ultimates here.
This Tidal Blast as well coming through from T1 is going to be used a lot more defensively, you've got to imagine. Nice rock on the Nemesis form. Cover taking some additional damage there, unable to hold the right click.
Yeah, GK, the poking and prodding for the moment. GK is trying to force this point, but Duplicate's gonna come
good rock
through here.
Really good rock. Maimon falls off the high ground there, transforms into Stigma, dodges the flux, but here comes the wall. Tidal Blast onto Maimon, looking for some knockdowns, but the teleport away is going to make sure they're safe. A copy Flux doesn't end up connecting, but the road to victory here for T1 has been laid down. A beautiful E in the bolus there from Jasmine. And all that increased damage from that orbital ray just eaten up. Jasmine ends up TPing away, but it's all GK on this first point.
5 ultimates used for T1, and they're still not able to come out on top. Great play by GK there, surviving all of that. Maimon creating so much time and space with that Sigma duplicate, of course. Great Tidal Blast by Ultraviolet, keeping him alive slightly longer. And then they were able to flip the mid-fight with that orbital ray coming through from Admiral and GK. They march onwards onto the second point here on King's Row.
Jasmine survived for so long there. Geekay now capping this point, getting the payload going. Let's get a quick listening as they set up for the next fight.
Yeah. Kill it right side. Can you still right side? Fuck.
Yeah,
speed rings, we can be really strong, okay?
Ram walking main.
I'm behind them.
Ram half on corner, Ram half on corner. Ram low.
Ram one.
He's wave. I saw backline.
One right wall, I'm right.
I'm done.
Okay, left.
I the back.
Push it.
Okay. Come on. Ram one.
Close talk.
Yeah. Ram on. Ram on, dead.
Nice.
I'm on Frey one. I'm living.
Taking left.
Frey main. Both DPS main.
Yeah.
Slow main. Shield main.
Third down, they're walking us.
Curie right side. Can we kill Curie right?
Go on.
Curie alone right. I slow left.
Come on.
Curie's still right, guys.
You're still low, guys. Let's go.
I'm getting accomplished.
I'm leaving you.
Freya left.
Only we action.
Freya left side, guys. Inside.
Only we action? Yeah. Come here, man. Hey, wait, that's 4 now. I go old top, okay?
Yeah,
shoot like that.
3, 2, 1. Everyone, I'm slow.
Final chance the defense here on this second point for T1. Proud already pretty low, but they're going to try and force the issue here.
Proud?
Nice little beam ends up connecting with Proud as Proud's in the backline. Orbital ray can't be used anymore. Admiral's so close to that ult too. But a nice Tidal Blast sets up Zest with a kill. Now Cuffer in the front line, use the Annihilation, trying to get to Vigilante, but he ends up getting out of there. Now Cuffer can just stand tall on this point. A lot of additional healing coming in from the supports right now, and he manages to survive. However, an Annihilation quickly wears away. 0.79 meters to go. His Lethal looks for a headshot. Proud comes back from spawn, but immediately steps back. And Skewed running for his life as Jasmine left off an island there on the point. And GK with time in the bank, caps second.
And Kuffa is dominating in the Ramatra matchup right now. Finding the edge when it comes to the damage done, and that's putting Jasmine on the back foot. T1 with no space and Proud getting picked early. They just haven't been able to find any momentum since that initial point. Now, Lethal going to do a bit of an individual mistake there with the slide. Gets picked early, but it's traded by Maimon. Getting Cess there. GK will be forced to retreat from this one, but this orbital ray coming up from Admiral is going to be a great ultimate to try and round this corner.
Nice slow onto Cuffer, forces the Nemesis form at least. Yeah, this orbital ray is going to be kind of dirty from Admiral. If he can actually get it off, looks like maybe T1 want to go a little bit early here.
What is he cooking here?
Yeah, I don't know. Spotted one on the high ground. Doesn't land the headshot. TP away. Oh! Whoop. All
We're good.
Wait, that was a bit strange. Oh! Deleted by Zest. Tidal Blast on Lethal, trying to play a little bit of defense now, but the copy is going to save Zest's life. Annihilation from Jasmine separates Cuffer from the rest of the squad. 2 minutes to go.
So not the worst thing in the world here for GK. T1. Obviously they buy some time on their defense, but that is both the Annihilation and the duplicate committed from Cest and Jasmine. Now GK, their turn to go here, still with the orbital ray coming online, and Lethal with this overclock. So much damage out, but it's going to purchase some space for GK.
Overclock for Lethal. Oh, and Zest gets sniped to the back. As he's taking a headshot from Lethal in there, Cover and off. What a shot from Lethal too. I mean, that is filthy stuff. Skewed dead. Here comes the push from GK.
And now they just want to press the gas pedal. Make it difficult for T1 to walk out of their spawn here. Proud himself with another overclock here. This needs to be a crucial tool in just securing some positioning, making the opponent scared. Both teams support ultimates in hand there, Jaws.
There's the orbital ray, and Proud though is trying to stand up to the might of Cuffer. The Annihilation just ripped through. That orbital ray was decent for a little bit there, Johnny, but you saw the rest of Geekay kind of backing off, tempering their aggression as soon as they lost cover.
They knew they had to put the pressure on the Prowl there and get that pick, and they got ridiculously close. But with those sidelines that the defense has coming out of that spawn, an overclocking Sojourn is so scary. Now, 40 seconds to go here. It's going to take a little bit of time for Geekay for the initial staging phase here as they try to set up pre-fight. Maimon has this duplicate on hand with no ultimates on the board for T1, but Ultraviolet goes down. Okay, they should still have enough time here to get a proper fight, but they can't make mistakes now. They should have joined spawns though. We should be okay. Who's going to touch though?
Should be okay, Johnny.
You just gotta duplicate the Tracer here and triple blink to the card.
That is a horrible way to
the ball.
Okay, Kuffer on ball. We'll see if they can actually stop him from getting actually to the point. Looks like the touch is going to come through in the end. Very low though is Kuffer again. Duplication from Maimon. Goes Kiriko. TPs through the wall and tries to heal up Kuffer. A free rush there for
Great
GK.
rush.
This is fantastic. Both Tidal Blast using the it's Lethal that tries to get away. Oh! Swipe onto Zest. A 180 flick shot from Lethal finds one. Annihilation from Jasmine. Keeps him alive for the time being, Johnny. But T1, they're just falling thick and fast.
They're falling apart here. Vigilante comes in with the Susu. Overclock from Lethal. They have all the sidelines. This should be GK securing a point cap here.
Jasmine, Vigilante dead. And off the back of Lethal again. Comes up in a massive way for GK. Triple blink onto the point for Zest, but Johnny, we know it's over. An OT cap for GK in what looked, to be honest, Johnny, fairly hopeless.
What a last-ditch effort. Kuffa with the swap onto the Wrecking Ball. And then a really mindful duplicate from Maimon onto that Kiriko to get the Kitsune Rush online. That is going to mean that you have the biggest advantage on that payload. You can contest the cart feeling safe with the added damage and attack speed from that Kitsune Rush. Obviously some extra ability cooldowns as well as you stand in that area of effect, and that was enough for GK to get some extra positional control, and then Lethal just closed it out.
Damn, that 180 flick shot
was huge.
Onto Zest was crazy. Very happy that, you know, remember at the start of the stage, stage 3, it's like, oh, you know, double flex, like DPS, right? It was like, actually, the Sojourn's still pretty good, the Freya's still pretty good. Like, I was a bit worried for GK in all honesty. I'm like, okay, Lethal wants to play these hard hit scans. There was a lot of Cassidy as well that was played. But now we're in a meta where you can play Ashe, you can play Sojourn. And that is Lethal's wheelhouse.
I mean, what he just did there was disgusting. I'm still dreaming of that headshot on the Zest.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
We'll get in the highlight package, don't we?
We are in a great hit scan meta. Well, we have like 10 seconds here. Like we're in a great hit scan meta right now. We're seeing all kinds of hearing, seeing play, except for the Widowmaker. That still just serves the purpose of scouting spawn, and hopefully no one jumps up on the Batiste.
Please. Please.
He got money, bro.
He got money. Facts. Ultraviolet, by the way, dying one time in that previous round.
Impressive, yeah.
Ridiculous stuff from the Wu Yang.
Okay, so this is interesting. Jasmine is going to roll out on the D.Va here. Wait for securing some space. GK should be able to peel. Admiral goes down, actually. The dive successful from T1.
That's a lot of damage. Oh, my word. Jude and Jasmine not expecting the pace, the tempo there from T1. Maybe that's what the T stands for.
Yeah, that was a great push by Jasmine there. You can see he's already waiting to swap the hero immediately. Probably going to go over to that Ramatra. Or perhaps Asaria here. But the D.Va was a bit of a susceptible pick there because, I mean, you're matched up against a hero like Echo. There's going to be so much damage coming your way. So the fact that T1 were able to get away with that from a great rollout on King's Row first, that is going to put them in a great position here. As Maimon swaps over to the Mei here, that's going to be another great flex hero here to keep this choke in your favor. See if any of these ice walls can make a big difference here, Jack.
Admiral swapping over to the Brig as well, Johnny. You're going to be pretty vulnerable to Zest on this Echo. Of course, you have that advantage as the attackers do flip up your picks. Now Kuffer's in a world of hurt. This angle from Proud's going to be pretty disgusting too. We'll see if he ends up finding a kill. Lethal taking a lot of damage. Same with Maimon. Pops the block pretty early. Nemesis form and there's sticky bombs to follow up. Proud just playing a little disrespectful in the face of Kuffer. It's a very fast Streets phase.
It is indeed, and now you're just going to get the one last contest here as well for GK. You are coming up on a couple of ultimates here. You obviously have the title blast as Admiral swaps back to the Juno here, actually. But this is where I'm really scared that this map is going to get away from GK really quickly. Kitsune Rush and Soundbarrier available for T1. And knowing that they've won these two fights so decisively, they might even know that GK are struggling to get their ultimates. They might go for a really aggressive push here.
Zesh trying to find something from Maimone. Maimone not popping block there. Pretty nerves of steel, to say the very least. Tidal Blaster, sniped by Proud. Corralled by Zest, and Proud snipes out the Mei. A double kill for the Sojourn. And Johnny, GK are falling apart right now. This third point, look at how much time they're going to have. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to finish with over a minute.
Oh, this is devastating for GK. Yes, they got the point cap, but still being put in a position where you have to play for the draw. That is not a position you want to be in. And T1, they're still got a great ult bank here, only using the overclock. Oh! And the Kitsune Rush. And Proud finds another one!
Another pick from Proud. Sound Barrier comes in, connects to 5, T1, tempo 1. Moving on up. They want to take these fights as fast as humanly possible.
Lethal on the Widowmaker. Grapple up perhaps. Is he going to take a peek? He does.
Fleder.
Oh!
Shades of Fleder maybe.
Oh!
Skew dancing on it. Not going to find the pick. Listed, in fact, thrown in the spawn.
You need some space.
One frozen up, but Jasmine, he's going to be able to get out of there, no problem. Double Ramattra now as the payload continues to push.
So Kappa has the Annihilation in hand, should be able to buy some time for his team, but
Kappa's
so much
gonna
pressure
die.
early.
Proud gets
He's gonna
another
go
one.
down.
T1 running this one in. World record pace for T1.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That silences GK. They have more time to capture the first point than you get the first go around. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Wow, that was a crushing offense by T1.
How do you come back from that mentally? Realistically, this is the final map here before you get eliminated. Number 3 seed coming in from North America. GK, who've done so well over the course of the year, are now in a position where they need to defend for 4 minutes and 15 seconds for 33% on first. And look at how quickly that went last time for T1. Almost instantly.
I think Jasmine is pretty comfortable looking the Diva again. Let's just run it back with the rollout. GK here. You gotta take it one fight at a time. It's 4:15 on the timer here. You gotta keep being proactive. You gotta keep making plays. Take it one fight at a time. See if you can find those opening picks if you are lethal. But this is such a hole to be in. GK just couldn't find anything going on the defense.
As the gates open, GK make their final stand here on King's Row. And it's going to be Jasmine again on the Diva. GK cannot make the same mistake. Their backline a lot more nimble this time around, Johnny. They're not going to get caught out like they did last go around.
Yeah, and T1 are taking it a little bit more slow here as well. Jasmine.
It's going to change.
Yeah, he's recognizing the composition from GK and the shift in approach. This is what I'm talking about. The Diva, it was only meant for that initial rollout to surprise the opponent. But now GK, they adapted. All right, fair enough. We'll take the neutral, and we're feeling really confident that in 4 minutes, we can take you down.
Cover's already popped Nemesis form as well. Playing on Statue. A late one there for Jasmine. Taking a fair bit of poke damage from Maimone. Safety teleport from Vigilante. Hoping maybe once again Proud can come up big and find the first pick of this fight. That shield's going to get destroyed pretty swiftly. Zest going down pretty low though. Maimone matching him in the skies. Finds the 1v1.
So an initial pick for GK here. As they're trying to build some ultimates, that is the thing to look out for here. The thing about T1 is they have a great ultimate bank, but also the pressure is on GK to not give up a single tick. This means they have to be aggressive when it comes to the ultimate usage. They are forced to drop these ultimates quite freely. T1, they can play the slow game here. They can poke and prod, they can build these ultimates, and when they have a decisive advantage, that's when they can decide to engage. Vigilante
close to this rush. Ultraviolet matching, in fact, outpacing ever so slightly. Looks like they're going to have to use this pretty early on. Cover taking a fair amount of damage in the front line there. Vigilante healing up. Zest in the sky. An early use of the Suzu. Are they going to be happy with just trading ults? Jasmine is so low. Sound barrier connects, and there's the annihilation. Everything popped at once here for T1 as they beeline for the back line. Avril goes down, and Cover tries to just gain some space here, but the supports are dead. GK torn apart on King's Row, with T1 setting a record-breaking push on their attack as they knock out GK from World.
T1, they got some great goals in their sight as they knock out GK from the OWCS World Finals. A dominant King's Row to finish their opponents off. Some great playmaking from players who wanted to see great performances from. Proud, really stepping up on that offense. Finally the picks on that Sojourn. And then on that overtime, they bided their time. They waited out that Kitsune rush from Ultraviolet. And when they had that double support ultimate in their favor, they pushed the gas and they secure a quick fight win to wrap up the series.
Yeah, both backliners going down so fast for GK there. Korea's number 3 seed continuing through this lower bracket. Now it's going to be first to 3s here. We talked about how deadly first to 2s can be, and you can see it here. Although going all the way 2-3 maps, got to be said, T1, they fumbled a little bit on that new Junk City. But if statements could be made, they made one. That attack on King's Row, you got to check the record books for that. That's got to be one of the fastest attacks of all time.
That's GOATS vibes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
2019
really
GOATS vibes. We set a bunch of those map records, and that was an incredible pace from that in this push. And I think that just, we got to put some respect on T1 now. So like, okay, you got reverse swept by Twisted Minds. You struggle a little bit against Team CC. But that King's Row alone shows what they are capable of. And when they can step up, if they can figure out a way to beat some of these Symmetra teams that we've been warning about, I think T1, they got all the skills required to go for a deep lower bracket run here.
Yeah, their opponent not yet decided, of course. We've got another game after this. I mean, look, all I want to hear is how T1 are feeling right now. That was a nail-biter, but it finished in a pretty big flattening. They made it to map number 3, set a record on King's Row. Let's go down to Danny on the stage with Jasmine for a post-match interview.
Thank you so much, Jaws. Yes, I am here joined by Jasmine from T1 for a quick post-match interview. Stockholm, give it up for Jasmine. Fantastic job today. And I just want to say, I mean, that last King's Row attack was insane. Big congratulations. How are you feeling right now? 자, 일단 오늘 승리 축하드리면서 마지막 왕의 길 너무나도 좋은 모습으로 경기를 마친 것 같습니다. 일단 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
뭔가 단두대 매치여서 좀 많이 떨리긴 했는데 사실 수비도 끝까지 밀려가지고 좀 힘들 거라 생각을 했었는데 다 같이 으쌰으쌰해서 잘 이긴 것 같습니다.
I do have to say that I was a bit nervous, and also because on our defense we did our opponents did push all the way back, so I thought it was going to be a difficult fight, but in the end we did get the win, so it did really feel good. All right, let's move on. I mean, today you have one more match after this. The winner of either Team Liquid or Team Peps, winner of that match is going to be facing off against T1. Jasmine, who do you think is going to be your next opponent? 자, 오늘 이 경기로 끝이 아니죠. T1 또 경기가 하나 더 남아 있습니다. 펩스 아니면 리퀴드 승자가 이제 T1과 붙게 될 텐데 재민 선수가 보셨을 때는 좀 어떤 팀이 올라와서 경기를 치르게 될 것 같으신가요?
제 개인적인 예상으로는 팀 리퀴드가 올라올 것 같습니다.
I personally think that it's going to be Team Liquid getting the win and we are going to be facing off against them. Is there a reason why you say that? 이유는?
이제 부트캠프도 하고 여기 와서도 스크림을 두 팀하고 다 해봤는데 리퀴드가 조금 더 강했다고 생각해서 리퀴드가 올라올 것 같습니다.
It's pretty simple because we did have a boot camp and also we did a lot of scrims with both of the teams, and Team Liquid is the superior team, and that is why I feel like we are going to face off against them. All right, that is it for the interview. Everyone give it up one more time for Jasmine. Thank you very much for the interview. Back to you, Desk.